on to a slice of British social history with a look at the beginning of the struggle for women's rights back in the 1850s in History File.
With fingers weary and worn, with eyelids heavy and red, a woman sat in unwomanly rags, plying her needle and thread. Stitch, 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 in poverty, hunger, and dirt. And still with a voice of dolorous pitch, she sang the song of the shirt. O men with sisters dear, O men with mothers and wives, it is not linen you're wearing out, but human creatures' lives.
Damn, damn, damn! And still they come. All right, don't look so shocked. I can swear like a trooper if need be, and I'm not far off it now. More fuel for the flames. A year ago, we collected 26,000 signatures in favour of the Married Women's Property Act, and still the bill hasn't been passed. Yet here we are with even more signatures. It's really monstrous. Are we to be dominated by men for the rest of our lives?
A fine question from you, having just become Mrs. Barbara Bodichon.
What else could I do? I love the idiot. Anyway, he pays no more attention to French law than my father does to English.
In what way?
Why, I'm allowed to own property. Yet most men see nothing wrong with an act which states that a man and wife are one person, so that all her property belongs to him alone.
But to be married is seen as a woman's proper function. Such is the world in which we live.
Then we must change it.
And how do we do that now, Barbara? When have men ever listened to reason? Yet unmarried women are no better off.
True. And there are nearly 2 million unsupported women. What happens to them if they fail to find husbands?
Why, they have nothing. Absolutely nothing to fall back on.
And when we suggest that this is wrong, see what happens. Look how they treated my article.
What article, Bessie?
Oh, I'd prefer to forget it.
3 years ago, Bessie wrote an essay entitled Remarks on the Education of Girls, and a journalist called her vermin for writing it.
Strong words indeed. What was the gist of your essay?
Oh, the appalling narrowness of female education. How it's no use being able to play the piano beautifully if one cannot understand that 3 halfpennies make a penny halfpenny.
You've met such a person?
Oh, yes, I knew the lady personally. And at the last count, there were 25,000 just like her.
And all because impoverished gentlewomen are employed as their teachers. Half of them as illiterate as those they're trying to teach.
There's a home for aged governesses in Kentish Town. Do you know how many applied for assistance in the last 9 years?
How many?
26,571.
And according to the Needlewomen's Institution, no less than 43,000 women in London alone earn their living by needlework.
And the connection?
Oh, you know the connection, Maria. Fail as a governess and the needle is all that's left.
Apprentice 10,000 women to watchmakers, train 10,000 as teachers of the young, make 10,000 good accountants, others to be nurses, telegraphists, or manage sewing machines, etc. Then the distressed needlewoman would vanish. The decayed gentlewoman and broken-down governess would no longer exist.
Thank you for my tea, Barbara. But I must be going.
You're going? So soon?
Well, I'm afraid I must. Besides, we've finished our discussion.
We have?
Of course. You've asked questions to which you already know the answers.
Have we?
Oh, yes, indeed. You know the facts. So many people do not. Why not set about telling them? Monthly.
Of course! Of course! Why didn't we think of this before?
A journal.
Exactly. A journal for women.
Run by women.
And edited by women.
And even printed by women.
What shall we call it?
Well, how about the English Woman's Journal?
Of course their health won't be affected. All that's needed is a quick eye, a ready hand, and steady application. And you did say the journal should be printed by women. If men can work the printing presses, then so can women.
Not according to men. They say that standing at the presses all day will ruin a woman's constitution.
Nonsense. They stand in the factories all day. Why not in the print works?
There's nothing wrong with my constitution, is there?
No, Emily dear, it's most elegant, as always.
Well, there you are then. I've stood at the printing presses and it did me no harm. Anyway, what's wrong with three-legged stools?
Of course, three-legged stools. That's the answer.
So our female typesetters need have no fear of weakening any more than your journal.
But is it being read by the women who most need help?
Perhaps the lady I found on your doorstep can best answer that.
Emily, why are you here? I hope nothing's happened to your papa.
No, but for once I've escaped and left him in my mother's care. Now, please, introduce me.
You know Bessie, editor of the Englishwoman's Journal. But may I present Maria Rye? Maria helped with our petition, and she's now started a law copying business to employ middle-class girls. This is Maria's partner, Emily Faithful. Ladies, this is Emily Davis.
Emily! How odd we should have the same name.
Is it? Miss Davis has very decided views on female education.
I have indeed, especially wasted education.
Wasted? How can any education be wasted?
It can be wasted when the educated turn to drink and gambling, as I've seen in my own family.
I know, Emily. Now, Miss Faithful's interests in printing. And you've just caught us discussing our own press with women workers to publish the journal. But where and who is the lady you found on our doorstep?
This is Miss, Smythe. My name is Esther Smythe. I've come...
Yes, my dear. What can we do for you?
I've come in response to your article in the journal.
Talking about employment for women.
Yes, that's it.
So what kind of work can you do?
I once was a governess. So could you put letters into a printing machine?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. But you can read, can't you? Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Yes.
How did you come across the journal?
It was wrapped round a pie.
So what have you been doing recently?
Working as a seamstress.
And how much do you earn?
The truth now.
3 shillings.
A day?
No, ma'am, a week.
What?
Oh, sometimes if I have a good week, I might make 4 shillings. But it's mainly only 3 shillings. Only the very good ones reach 5 shillings, and I wasn't one of those.
You've given it up. Why?
Tired. Just too tired.
How long did you have to work, on average?
It was often 20 hours a day.
20 hours a day?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, God. Oh, dear God.
And what made you become a seamstress?
There was nothing else. I was with a family for a long time as a governess. But the daughter grew up, and the family, they wanted someone with more accomplishments. So they...
Got rid of you?
Yes.
And your own family? What of them?
My father, he died and left me nothing. And my brothers.
26,572.
Poor woman. Willing to work, but can you imagine her setting up type for your husband's article, Barbara, on life and customs in Algeria? Always supposing she could spell Algeria.
Unfortunately not. Britain seems to divide women into 2 classes. Those who sew samplers to pass the time, and those who stitch shirts at 3 shillings a week.
Or earn £6 a year as domestics.
Not to mention the mills and the farms. And it all comes back to schooling. We must see that every girl can get a full and useful education.
We must also see that every woman can get a good and well-paid job.
And who might you be?
I might be anyone, but my name is Jessie Amelia Butcherette. I saw your journal at a railway station bookstall, and I've travelled from Lincoln expressly to meet you. But from what you've said about employment for women, I don't think you're doing nearly enough.
Not enough?
No. I feel we need to do more, which is why I'm here.
How are you?
Yes. We must actively promote the employment of women.
this letter just printed in the journal?
If it's just been printed, I doubt it.
It's signed from an old-fashioned country reader. It begins, much as I admire greatly the energy of Miss Rye and Miss Faithful, at the very outside, after they've killed themselves, they will not have employed more than 50 or 60 people.
The country reader has a point. So, perhaps the rest should go where they're most wanted.
And where's that?
Anywhere but here.
Of course. You mean the colonies?
Dear Emily, what would I do without you? The colonies, where else? They're always wanting more men, more carpenters, more blacksmiths, more bricklayers. Those men will want wives. Mothers will need governesses. Schools must have teachers, and the sick must be nursed. And as the professions develop, maybe, just maybe, they might want Our Lady clerks. And printers, too. Why not emigration?
Because education is the only answer to employment and an independent life for women. But there are no standards set. The church schools for the poorer classes are inspected, yet private schools for girls are not. And as for the best boys' schools, well, they set their own standards because they prepare for the locals.
Locals?
The local examinations set by the universities. Pass those and you've matriculated, and you can go on to take a university degree.
I see.
And I firmly believe that the girls' schools will not improve until the universities open those local exams to them as well as to the boys. And talking of exams, how have you been getting on, Miss Elizabeth Garrett?
Not very well, I'm afraid. After attending medical lectures for months and working in the dissecting room, I won a certificate of honour in every subject.
Well done indeed. You must be delighted.
Oh, I am. Except that now I can't attend any more lectures.
Why on earth not?
The students have had me barred from finishing the course.
Oh.
It seems I made a mistake by being too clever.
Well, there are other medical schools, but they're all attached to the universities, and you must matriculate to get in. As a female, you can't matriculate. I have it. The Society of Apothecaries. Their charter states that any person who satisfies their regulations can take their medical exams.
And all persons means female as well as male.
It certainly does.
So, you find out what their regulations are, Elizabeth, and meanwhile, I shall try to get girls admitted to the local exams. So, despite years in the wilds, you haven't changed. You still believe emigration is the answer for single women.
I do.
And you don't think these women need to be well educated first?
Not necessarily. My experience confirms that there is ample room in the colonies for all classes of women. In New South Wales, for example, domestic servants are of far greater use than governesses. And in fact, as long as they are hard-working and adaptable, there are hundreds of openings for decent women.
Plenty of openings for husband hunting.
Marriages can be made anywhere. Heaven, hell, or the colonies. But the problems of the unemployed must be tackled at once, not in several years when they might have graduated from your schooling, if that ever happens.
Despite your globe-trotting, you can scarcely fail to be aware that with only 6 weeks' notice, the girls who took the local exam did rather well.
Except in arithmetic. The girls at my bookkeeping school are good at figures.
Oh, I'm sure their figures are excellent.
What do you think, Elizabeth?
Well, as a would-be doctor, I agree with Florence Nightingale. Do no harm to the sick. Don't send uneducated women abroad.
There you are. An unbiased viewpoint.
Since you've always supported her, it's only natural that she will support you.
I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. Education is essential. How could I become a doctor without it?
Quite. And we must always avoid encouraging low pay, here or abroad.
I'm well aware of what I am doing.
So am I.
Oh, you're so smug, Emily. It's positively unbearable.
Are you addressing me, young lady?
Yes, I am. What gives you the right to be so superior?
You're in no position to criticize me.
What do you mean?
For months, your private life was made public in a divorce case.
That has nothing to do with it. I'm entitled to express an opinion.
Not in my company, you're not.
Oh, come now. Not after all I've done for the Victoria Press and the Employment Society.
Unfortunately, my dear, the world that condemns you condemns us and our cause if we are seen to be closely associated.
But you can't. You can't. Maria, you can't condone this.
I'm afraid she's right. I hope you're satisfied. There goes one of our finest workers.
You see how it is. One way or another, men are at the root of all our problems.
Ladies, 10 years ago, we petitioned in favour of the Married Women's Property Bill. It failed. But from that failure came the decision to found the English Woman's Journal, to publicise the problems faced by women. From that came the determination to deal with employment. So Jessie Butcherette built up the Women's Employment Society. Emily Faithfull gave women jobs at the printing presses and saw her press become publisher to Her Majesty. Maria Rye trained women as clerks and is now helping to get work for women in Canada. Back here, more and more women have become shop assistants, telegraphists, and even hairdressers. Despite us being told that since it took a man 2 weeks to train as a hairdresser, a woman could never expect to become one. On a different level, Elizabeth Garrett has become our first lady doctor. Though the medical profession has since closed its doors to our sex. However, we do not accept defeat so easily. Girls may now officially sit the local exams, and Emily Davis is working to found a college of higher education for women.
Not without considerable help from Mrs. Barbara Bodichon.
And we look forward to the time when we will no longer find medical schools and universities barred to us. Because how can men continue to deny us rights in the world when we brought them into it?
Hear, hear.
So, to our next practical step. Nothing less than the vote for women. Yes. Sadly, not all our friends support that idea, though 1 or 2 have begun to see the light. Now, you all know that some of us helped Mr. John Stuart Mill in his campaign to become an MP. Well, he's now promised to present to the Commons a petition for women's suffrage, provided we can collect 100 signatures. Can there be any doubt that we will not succeed? And to help us with this next step, here is our youngest and latest recruit, Elizabeth's sister, Miss Millicent Garrett.
Millicent Garrett Fawcett played a major part in the campaign for women's suffrage and survived to see women get the vote on equal terms with men. And it all began with the ladies of Langham Place.
Shout, shout, on with the song, cry with the wind, all the dawn is breaking. March, march, swing you along, fly through the banner and hope is waiting. Song with its story, hymns with their glory, music home, and land the one. Land, golden fair, the sun of freedom, the voice of the Lord.
Well, schools may like to know that the full series of 20th century history is now available in 2 video packs. For more information, please ring BBC Education and Training Sales on 01 576 0361. Tomorrow, a new series begins here on 2, which examines the government's Technical and Vocational Education Initiative. It aims to broaden and enrich the education of 14 to 18-year-olds. In the first programme, we'll look at how the TVEI ideas are put into practice in one local education authority. And that's at 9:20 tomorrow morning here on 2.